Good morning to you all, and I hope this video finds you all well and continuing to keep safe. A couple of weeks ago I met up with some friends and we sat around a table and we played some old-fashioned games, and it made me think about during this time of when we've been stuck at home a lot more and maybe been able to spend some time with family, if we pulled out some of the old board games, some of the games that perhaps we, in the speed of life, usually we don't have opportunity to play. I have a lot of games at home which generally need at least two people, which can be a challenge, but it's great when I meet up with people and we can play some of the games that we used to when we were younger. And I wonder if many of you will remember the game Snakes and Ladders. I don't know if it's still played amongst children, but certainly when I was brought up, we played Snakes and Ladders. And you know the way you play it. You roll the dice and you move on your counter, and if you land on the bottom of a ladder, you can go up. If you land on the top of a snake, you have to go back down. And the game, when you think you're just about won, you hit that long snake and you slide all the way back down again. And I was thinking it feels a bit like that in our lives now, doesn't it? As we're battling with the coronavirus and trying to follow all the guidelines, it feels like we take 2 steps forward and then 1 step back, and the frustration that brings. And yet I don't envy the task of those trying to make decisions for the best of each of us and our country. We've also had more time perhaps, and I'm grateful to many people for posting different songs on the internet, on Facebook in particular. And a particular favourite of mine in this season is the new version of John Gowan's song, Have You Ever Stopped to Think How God Loves You? And it's called Everywhere. And if you're able to Google it on YouTube or somewhere, it's just called Everywhere. And a beautiful arrangement of the words, based on the song that he wrote for one of his musicals. And I want to remind you of verse 2 of that song, which says, everything is changing in the world today. There's one thing reliable in every way. Other things may alter, but it's clear and plain that the love of God is just the same. And we hang on to those truths. And I want to remind you of that this morning, that in everything else, the frustrations that surround us, may we focus on God's unchanging love. May we focus on the fact that whatever the change is going on around us, that He remains the same yesterday, today, forever. It can seem some days that we don't know whether we're coming or going and what day of the week it is or what month of the year it is. And yet I hope that we're all taking this opportunity amidst all those hassles and frustrations to actually spend time, just maybe a little bit more time, really understanding again that in amongst all of this that we're going through, that God's love never changes. Let me share with you some verses from Hebrews 13. God says, never will I leave you, never will I forsake you. So we say with confidence, the Lord is my helper. I will not be afraid. What can man do to me? Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. In a world where it seems nothing's the same as it's been, and we sit here not really knowing when, and we've been used to living in a world of more certainty, a world where we can get our diary out and write things in our diary and know that they're going to take place. But at the moment, those diaries seem a little bit of a waste of time for many of us because we're just waiting. And I think next week I'll perhaps share a little bit more of my thoughts about the waiting game that we're playing. But I simply say to you in this next week, in these next few days, remember that God's love doesn't change. Whatever is changing around us, that remains the same. And pray that each one of us will seek him again, seek that love and reassurance in all the changing circumstances around us. Keep safe, stay well, and seek out God again for yourselves. May God bless you.